The whole world is shocked by Baba Vanga's June 2025 prediction. It's already starting. Baba Vanga, the mysterious blind prophet from Bulgaria, has long fascinated the world with her uncanny foresight, foretelling everything from natural disasters to major political shifts. Her visions have puzzled skeptics and believers alike, especially now, as one of her most chilling predictions for June 2025 begins to unfold right before our eyes. In a time when the world feels increasingly uncertain with rising global tensions, rapid climate changes, and personal struggles growing heavier, her words strike a deeper chord. What did Baba Vanga truly foresee for this moment in history? And why are people everywhere feeling a strange sense of déjà vu as recent events mirror her prophecy? Many experts are beginning to connect the dots, pointing to signs of a turning point in humanity's story, one that could reshape not only nations, but our inner lives as well. But there's something even more urgent. This prediction may not just be about the world out there, but about how we choose to live, act, and awaken. So why is June 2025 more important than we realize? Join the journey of wisdom as we look beyond fear, decode the deeper meaning behind Baba Vanga's prophecy, and discover what it might reveal about our modern path toward chaos or clarity. Number 1. Baba Vanga and her famous predictions that came true. Throughout history, certain individuals have captured the world's attention not through fame or fortune, but through something much more mysterious, an uncanny ability to foresee events long before they unfold. One of the most striking examples is Baba Vanga, the blind mystic from Bulgaria, whose predictions have echoed across decades. Her life was filled with hardship, having lost her sight in a storm during childhood, and yet this seeming tragedy opened a door to visions that would later shake the world. Take, for instance, her chilling reference to steel birds attacking America, a haunting phrase many now associate with the September 11th attacks. At the time, no one could truly grasp what she meant, but in hindsight, it feels unsettlingly accurate. This isn't just coincidence. Many of her forecasts came with such strange detail that people have returned to her words time and again, searching for clues in the chaos of our modern world. She also predicted that America's 44th president would be a black man, a bold claim when she said it, and yet it came true with the election of Barack Obama. And it wasn't only global events she foresaw. Baba Vanga even foretold the day of her own death, August 11th, 1996, a fact confirmed by those closest to her. This sense of self-awareness adds another layer to the mystery of her abilities, as if she were in tune with forces beyond what we can see or understand. Her vision of Indira Gandhi's assassination, spoken through imagery of a woman in an orange-yellow dress consumed by smoke and fire, further shows how she communicated her prophecies, not in plain language, but through symbols and impressions. It's these cryptic yet vivid messages that give her predictions their haunting weight. Likewise, she warned the popular Yugoslavian singer Silvana Armenulic that she would soon die, a prophecy fulfilled just months later in a tragic car crash. These moments aren't just stories, they touch on something deeper in us, a recognition that there might be more to life than what we can see, a deeper rhythm behind the events that shape our world. When she spoke of major changes sweeping through Europe, many now link that to Brexit, which changed not only the political landscape but also how millions of people view unity, identity, and the future. Her prophecies strike a chord because they reflect the fears and hopes. Many of us carry fear of disaster, but also hope that we can somehow be prepared or warned. In today's fast-moving world, where headlines shift by the hour and change seems constant, it's understandable that people look to figures like Baba Vanga for a sense of clarity. But rather than see her predictions as reasons for fear, we might reflect on them as reminders to live with greater awareness. We can't control what the future holds, but we can choose how we respond to uncertainty. Her stories teach us to pay attention not just to global events, but to our own inner world, our intuition, and how we treat each other. In a time where anxiety about the future is common, perhaps the real wisdom lies not in knowing what will happen, but in choosing to be kind, present, and grounded no matter what comes. Number 2. Key predictions for 2025. 1. Natural disasters. Throughout 2025, many have turned their attention to the chilling predictions of Baba Vanga, the blind Bulgarian mystic whose prophecies continue to spark both fear and fascination long after her passing. One of her most startling forecasts for this year is centered on a massive earthquake in the United States, specifically one so intense that it could alter the very course of the Mississippi River. At first glance, such a prediction might seem extreme or even far-fetched. But when we pause and reflect on the historical behavior of the Mississippi, the story begins to shift. Before modern engineering controlled its flow, this mighty river was known to change its path approximately once every 1,000 years, and notably, it even appeared to reverse direction during the cataclysmic New Madrid earthquakes of 1811 and 1812. With this historical context in mind, the idea doesn't seem so unimaginable after all. In fact, scientific communities have begun echoing similar concerns, noting that seismic activity across the US has been increasing, and not all signs are as quiet as we might hope. For instance, the relatively mild but widely felt 4.88 magnitude quake that struck near Lebanon, New Jersey in April this year served as a wake-up call. While it didn't alter the Mississippi, it reminded millions, especially those near New York City, how vulnerable urban centers can be to natural forces. Still, this may only be a tremor before a larger storm. In California, home to the infamous San Andreas Fault, scientists are watching closely. The Parkfield segment, historically known to produce a magnitude 6 earthquake every 22 years, has remained unusually silent since 2004, breaking its natural rhythm. Experts now warn that a significant rupture could be imminent, and this has led many to revisit Baba Vanga's prophecy with renewed concern. Reports published in trusted scientific journals such as Frontiers in Earth Science have highlighted that an earthquake of such magnitude could devastate communities, causing buildings to collapse, utilities to fail, and triggering landslides that cut off entire towns. Even more than the physical destruction, the psychological toll, fear, uncertainty, and trauma can linger long after the ground stops shaking. This brings us to a deeper reflection. Beyond the question of whether Baba Vanga's predictions are real, lies a more important truth: we are never truly in control. Earthquakes remind us of life's unpredictability, and how, despite our technology and planning, nature can still shake us to our core, both literally and emotionally. Whether you believe in Baba Vanga or not, the message behind her foresight is valuable. We must stay alert, informed, and spiritually grounded. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the rush, to ignore subtle signs, and to assume that tomorrow will unfold just like today. But wisdom, especially from Buddhist traditions, teaches us to live in awareness, to be present, and to prepare not from fear, but from mindfulness. Take time to check in on your emergency plans, but also check in with yourself. How are you feeling mentally and emotionally? Are you cultivating peace in your home and in your relationships, or are you letting the noise of the world shake your inner calm more than it should? Let these predictions not scare us, but instead wake us up to take care of each other, to live more intentionally, and to stay connected with the natural world and its subtle warnings. Because whether or not the river changes its course, we all have the power to change the direction of our lives, starting today. 2. Technology and the Internet. Baba Vanga, the mysterious blind mystic from Bulgaria, made many predictions during her lifetime, and some of them are strikingly relevant today, especially her visions about technology and the Internet. She spoke, in her own cryptic way, of a global web that would one day connect all of humanity, a system so powerful that it would forever change how we live, learn, and communicate. Now think about that for a moment. Can you imagine hearing something like that decades ago, before the Internet even existed in the form we know today? Her words hinted at a future where knowledge would be at our fingertips, where borders between nations would blur in the digital space, and where education and commerce would take on entirely new shapes through instant connectivity. Isn't that the world we're living in right now? But her vision didn't stop there. Baba Vanga also seemed to foresee the rise of artificial intelligence technology that, like the Internet, is now transforming the fabric of our daily lives. She hinted at machines not only helping humans, but also potentially rivaling them in many areas, from thinking and problem-solving to decision-making. And here we are, watching AI grow more powerful every day, driving cars, diagnosing diseases, and even creating art. It's both fascinating and a little unsettling, isn't it? Have you ever wondered how much control we're handing over to these machines and whether we truly understand the impact of this shift? Now, consider how these developments are not only technological but also deeply political. Just recently, OpenAI, of the leading forces in artificial intelligence, placed restrictions on users from mainland China. This move has intensified existing tensions between global tech powers and stirred discussions about digital freedom, intellectual property, and global influence. We're seeing a digital divide that echoes the old political rivalries, but in a new form, technological Cold War, where control over innovation and access to AI tools becomes a form of power. How do you think this growing divide will affect the balance of global influence in the years to come? What's striking is how all of this echoes the spirit of Baba Vanga's warnings, not just about technology itself, but about its deeper effects on society and humanity. With every step forward, we are also faced with ethical questions. Are we using this power for the greater good? Are we protecting human dignity and rights in a world increasingly dominated by machines? And perhaps the most important question of all, are we staying connected to our values as we rush into a future shaped by technology? This is where her vision becomes more than a prediction. It becomes a reminder that progress without wisdom can be dangerous, and that true advancement isn't just about smarter machines, but about wiser people. So as you reflect on these developments, consider this. How can we use technology to unite rather than divide, to uplift rather than exploit, to learn more deeply, not just know more quickly? Baba Vanga may have seen the future, but it's up to us to shape it with compassion, balance, and a deep sense of responsibility. Let that be the lesson today's. What we build, not just to get ahead, but to lift others, protect what matters, and stay true to the values that make us human. You're still watching, which means you sense something big is happening, just like Baba Vanga predicted. Type Awakening 2025 in the comments to show you're tuned in to what's coming. Keep watching until the end. There's more insight that could change the way you see the future. 3. Geopolitical turmoil. Have you ever felt that the world around us is shifting in ways we can barely understand? Right now, many are turning their attention to the chilling prophecies of Baba Vanga predictions that, if even partly true, could reshape how we see the near future. Let's talk about what she foresaw for 2025, because her words, though spoken decades ago, seem to echo louder than ever today. Baba Vanga wasn't just making wild guesses. Her insights touched the heart of political and global transformations, speaking of empires rising and falling, powers being tested, and the invisible hand of fate shaking the stability of nations. One of her most shocking predictions is the potential assassination of Russian President Vladimir Putin by someone from within his own country. Think about that for a moment. What would happen if such a powerful figure was suddenly removed from the world stage? How would Russia respond? And more importantly, how would that ripple across a world already stressed by war and distrust? Vanga's prediction doesn't end there. She warned that such an event could deepen the already burning tensions worldwide, sparking unrest and uncertainty that no border could contain. As we look around today, the pieces seem to be aligning. Unrest in Ukraine persists, divisions deepen, and the global atmosphere grows heavier. Could she have been pointing to this very moment? Alongside this, Baba Vanga foresaw a rise in terrorist attacks across Europe, something we all hope never happens, but which has been a part of our recent history. She also hinted at the possibility of a nation turning to biological warfare, a terrifying thought in a world still recovering from a pandemic. If that were to happen, what kind of fear and confusion might follow? And would we be ready, emotionally and morally, to face it? These are not just distant warnings. They challenge us to think about how fragile peace really is. Now, consider the growing territorial disputes. China's control over regions like East Turkestan, Tibet, southern Mongolia, and Hong Kong is once again making headlines. Do these ongoing struggles reflect the very chaos Vanga foresaw? Are we entering a time when old conflicts resurface with new intensity, fueled by a hunger for power and the scars of unresolved history? And if so, what role will we each play in either contributing to peace or standing by in silence? Her vision seems to paint a picture not just of destruction, but of choices that leaders and citizens alike must face. So, let me ask you this. In a world that feels increasingly uncertain, where power shifts and conflict brews beneath the surface, how do we find our balance? Can we remain grounded in compassion and mindfulness while the world changes around us? These questions aren't just for politicians or scholars, they're for all of us, because the path the world takes might just begin with the steps we choose today. 4. Health and medical predictions. In the realm of health and medicine, Baba Vanga's predictions for 2025 have stirred both awe and reflection, especially for those of us navigating adulthood and the later chapters of life. Her vision pointed toward astounding progress in the fight against some of humanity's most feared illnesses, cancer and Alzheimer's among them, suggesting that cures once thought impossible might soon become a reality. At first glance, such claims might seem far-fetched, like whispers from a future not yet within reach. Yet, when we look around today, we can see that science is catching up to the hopes of the past. Across the globe, researchers are racing against time, fueled by both innovation and compassion, to unlock new ways of healing. One particularly striking development comes from Russia, where scientists have reportedly made strides in creating a cancer vaccine. Russian President Vladimir Putin himself recently alluded to this breakthrough, igniting widespread curiosity and cautious optimism. Though we don't yet have all the details, such as which types of cancer, the vaccine would address the very notion that a preventative treatment could exist for this devastating disease is enough to lift spirits and stir hope in countless hearts. Meanwhile, on another front, the University of Oxford has spotlighted a powerful step forward, a DNA-based vaccine specifically targeting lung cancer. Supported by considerable funding from the United Kingdom, this initiative has already seen 2 years of thorough research and the preparation of 3,000 initial doses. It's more than just a headline, it's a signal that the tides may be turning. For many people over 30, especially those who have watched loved ones suffer or who carry health concerns of their own, these stories aren't distant or abstract. They are deeply personal. They remind us of our vulnerability, but also our resilience and the unyielding human spirit that strives to turn tragedy into triumph. As we move deeper into 2025, the atmosphere seems charged with the possibility that life-saving treatments once reserved for dreams may soon step into the light of day. Yet, Baba Vanga's foresight didn't stop at hope. It came with caution too. She warned that as new cures emerge, so might new diseases, perhaps as sudden and disruptive as those we've already witnessed in recent years. The memory of recent global pandemics still lingers, teaching us that health is not just a personal matter, but a collective responsibility. Her predictions gently urge us to remain vigilant, not fearful, but aware. As individuals and as a society, we are called to support healthcare innovation, promote public health, and cultivate resilience not just with medicine, but with mindfulness, compassion, and unity. For those of us seeking stability and well-being in a rapidly changing world, these medical developments are more than scientific news. They're a reminder to care for our bodies, stay informed, and embrace both the promise and responsibility that come with progress. In every step toward a healthier future, there lies an opportunity not just to extend life, but to enrich it with meaning, connection, and wisdom. 5. Climate and environmental predictions. As you listen closely, I want to share with you a remarkable and perhaps unsettling story. As we journey into the second half of 2025, the chilling predictions of Baba Vanga about climate and environmental catastrophes seem to be unfolding before our eyes. I want you, yes, you, to truly feel the weight of this moment, because her words carry both warning and invitation. You're probably seeing the news like I am, reports of extreme weather swirling across continents, heat waves setting records in countries from Europe to Asia, and wildfires dancing dangerously close to our homes. All these signals align eerily with what Baba Vanga envisioned years ago. According to recent studies, heat waves have surged by 67% worldwide this year, stretching longer and burning brighter than anything we've recorded before, exactly as she warned. The World Meteorological Organization has even cautioned that 2025 could rank among the hottest in human history. I want you to ask yourself, how will this shift affect your daily life and the communities you love? Beyond scorching summers, imagine the chain reaction ice melting faster at the poles, sea levels climbing higher, storms growing fiercer, and crops failing in places that once flourished. These are all interconnected facets, she foresaw, compounding one another in unpredictable and devastating ways. One of her most chilling predictions speaks of a shift in Earth's orbites. You heard that correctly, that could tip the delicate environmental balance and unleash a cascade of devastating natural disasters. From trembling tectonic plates to tsunamis pounding shores and hurricanes raging with renewed fury, the potential consequences are staggering. You might be wondering, could such a profound cosmic shift really be possible? And if so, what can we do to prepare, to adapt, to heal? Now, turning to the wisdom of Buddhism, I'm reminded of the words of the Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, who said, "No mud, no lotus," inviting you to understand that even in the midst of suffering and environmental crisis, the potential for growth and transformation exists. I invite you to notice this balance. The mud of difficult conditions can serve as fertile ground for the lotus of compassion and collective action. How might you, as a caring individual, plant seeds of mindful environmental stewardship today? Are you ready to wake up to the fragile interdependence of all things, to speak up for policies that protect forests, oceans, and glaciers, and to reduce your own carbon footprint with the same care you'd give to a sleeping child? I'm asking you because your choices, your awareness can ripple outward, influencing neighbors, governments, and the global policies communities so desperately need. In fact, Buddhist philosophy reminds us of the interconnectedness of all life. There is no true separation between you, me, the trees, and the mountain stream. Every act of kindness toward the earth echoes back to us as protection and well-being. You might find comfort in the ancient Buddhist teaching. Thousands of candles can be lighted from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. I leave that with you not as distant words, but as a personal invitation. What candle of caring for our planet will you light today? As we continue this podcast conversation, I want you to feel like a co-storyteller. Your own reflections become part of the unfolding narrative. Will you share ways you've practiced mindfulness in nature or small steps you're taking to honor the earth? As Baba Vanga's warnings loom closer, let them not inspire fear alone, but fuel your compassion and collective wisdom. After all, as the Buddha taught, however many holy words you read, however many you speak, what good will they do you if you do not act upon them? So, let's act, not driftlets. Turn uncertainty into purpose and anxiety into caring action for the world we all share and cherish. Still with us, that means you're one of the few who dares to explore what Baba Vanga saw in her June 2025 vision. Drop a truth seeker in the comments if you're ready to embrace what lies ahead. The next part of the video could open your eyes to what's already unfolding around us. Don't miss it. Number 3. Looking beyond 2025. Looking beyond 2025, the predictions of Baba Vanga stretch far into a future that challenges not just our beliefs, but our imagination of what is possible for humanity. Her visions, though often met with skepticism, offer a compelling lens through which we can reflect on our current trajectory. According to her, the years ahead are filled with radical transformations, technological, social, and even spiritual. She predicted that between 2025 and 2028, one of the world's most pressing issues, global hunger, would be resolved. At first glance, this may seem overly optimistic, but if we look closer, we can see how advancements in food, technology, vertical farming, and global collaboration on sustainable agriculture could pave the way for this vision to become a reality. It's a reminder that when humanity unites for a common cause, miracles in the form of progress are truly possible. However, as we allow hope to inspire us, it's important to remain vigilant. Progress always comes with its own set of responsibilities. Are we preparing ourselves not just to feed the hungry, but to build a world where dignity, equity, and compassion guide our choices? As we step into the 2030s, Baba Vanga foresaw even more extraordinary developments. One of her most astonishing predictions is that by 2034, humans will have mastered time travel. While this may sound like science fiction, it reflects the endless curiosity and innovation that drive our species. Think of how far we've come in just the past few decades. Smartphones, artificial intelligence, and quantum computing have reshaped daily life. Whether or not time travel becomes physically possible, the idea reminds us to be conscious of how we use our present moments. We may not be able to travel through time in a machine, but each decision we make sends ripples into the future. It encourages us to live with mindfulness and responsibility, knowing that what we choose today shapes the legacy we leave behind. Continuing this vision into the more distant future, Baba Vanga claimed that by 2043, Islamic governance would spread across Europe, marking a significant shift in cultural and political structures. Such a prediction might stir anxiety in some, but perhaps it is more useful to interpret it as a call to understand, to bridge cultural gaps, and to prepare for a world where cooperation among diverse beliefs becomes more necessary than ever. Instead of fearing change, we can focus on cultivating mutual respect and open dialogue. After all, the heart of any belief system, when practiced with sincerity, is compassion. If change is inevitable, then let it be a change that brings us closer to peace rather than division. In the mid-21st century, around 2076, she foretold the resurgence of communism. This raises interesting questions about how societies might respond to inequality, corporate power, and economic instability. While communism has a complicated history, its predicted return could reflect a longing for balance and fairness in a world increasingly dominated by wealth concentration and consumerism. Whether or not such a system re-emerges, the underlying message is clear. We must address the growing divide between the privileged and the poor. As we move forward, let this be a reminder to prioritize fairness, generosity, and shared responsibility, especially in how we structure our communities and economies. But Baba Vanga didn't stop there. She envisioned a future in 2341 where Earth itself may become uninhabitable due to man-made natural disasters. It's a sobering warning, especially in light of today's environmental crises. Climate change, pollution, deforestation, these aren't future threats. They are realities we face now. If we ignore them, we may edge closer to the fate she foresaw. But if we act, if we protect nature, honor our resources, and teach future generations to live in harmony with the planet, then perhaps we can write a different story. One where humanity thrives alongside Earth, not at its expense. Her most fantastical visions come even further into the future. By 4324, Baba Vanga predicted humanity would achieve immortality, establish contact with alien civilizations, and even communicate directly with God. These ideas stretch the imagination, but they also hint at a deeper spiritual evolution. Perhaps immortality isn't just about the body, but about wisdom and consciousness transcending lifetimes. Contact with other beings, real or symbolic, might represent our readiness to expand empathy beyond our own kind. And speaking to God? Maybe it's not about literal conversation, but about deepening our connection to the divine, however we define it. In a world driven by constant noise and distraction, such visions ask us to pause, to listen, and to reflect on what it truly means to be human. Finally, she predicted the end of the world in the year 5790, a date so distant that it may seem irrelevant. But perhaps it's not about the exact year, but about recognizing the impermanence of all things. Everything, even the world itself, is subject to change, decay, and eventual end. This truth, rather than frightening us, can awaken us to the beauty of each passing moment. It calls us to live not with fear, but with purpose and love, knowing that the only thing truly eternal is the impact we leave behind through kindness, courage, and wisdom. In hearing Baba Vanga's predictions, we may find ourselves overwhelmed or skeptical, but deeper than the literal interpretations lies a gentle invitation to think more deeply about the future we are creating today. Whether her visions unfold as she saw them or not, we are still the stewards of tomorrow. And through mindful choices, compassion for one another, and reverence for the earth, we can shape a future far brighter than even the boldest prophecy could imagine. As we reflect on Baba Vanga's striking predictions, let's remember they aren't just warnings of what might come, but reminders of how we can choose to live now. In a world of uncertainty, fear is not our only option. We can respond with awareness, compassion, and the wisdom to act with intention for ourselves, each other, and the planet we all share. Thank you for joining us on The Journey of Wisdom. If you found this video thought-provoking, please give it a like, share it with others who may find it meaningful, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming videos. Together, let's keep exploring the path of awareness and balance, one story, one insight, one mindful step at a time. Until next time, stay grounded, stay curious, and take good care.